After the show yesterday, Allison said to me, I want to talk about the moment people realized they had an old name. So if you realized you have an old name, give us a call, 601-995-1017. But what led this thought to pop into your head?
I was just watching The Housewives, as I do, catching up, and this darn commercial came on. And it was for plaque psoriasis and some medication. And they were like, here comes Allison. Allison has plaque psoriasis and she takes this medication. And I was like, oh my God, I have a grandma name.
Well, but wait, plaque psoriasis isn't like an old
No, it's not
people
necessarily,
thing.
but I feel like they don't use young people names for medication commercials. Like it's always like Betty or like what I think of as old names. Like it's Mildred or, Barbara or something
Esther.
like that. Exactly. Like that's what you typically see as medication commercials. But no, Esther isn't. It's probably been reinvented. It's probably cool again. It's Allison that's old.
Esther's out of the commercials. Allison is in. So now you feel like you have an old name?
Please tell me I'm not the only one who's realizing obviously no babies are being named Allison anymore. And it's like, that's going to be the old lady name. There's going to be kids hearing about Allison and they're going to be like, God, what is she, like 70 years old?
601-995-1017. I will say this is like the most unrelatable topic of all time to me, Adam.
Really?
Yeah. Because from the time I was 5 years old and going to Sunday school, I realized my name was literally the first name ever. It's literally the oldest name there is.
But there are still lots of little kids that we meet that they're like, my name is also Adam. So, like, it's not like it's going out of style.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what that does to somebody as a child.
What do you mean?
You have an instant superiority complex.
So that's why you act the way you do.
It must be. It must be. It's a problem for all Adams, I know.
I wonder if Eves have the same problem.
I bet they do.
They're just walking around like, listen, I was first. I don't care about the rest of you.
So do you have a name that makes you feel older than you actually are? Like maybe you were born in, 97 or something.
Yeah.
But your parents decided to name you
Jennifer.
Is Jennifer an old name?
It is now. I saw a whole video about it, about Gen Zers and Gen Alphas, like talking about like that sounds like a grandma name now. Like Jessica and Jennifer, they were definitely on the list. I was like, no, those are like my best friends. What are you talking about?
Who else has a name that makes them feel like maybe they're older than they are? 601-995-1017. Give us a call. I would love to talk to you about this because, I mean, like I said, since I knew about names and stuff. Like I thought that I had an old name and a superior name to everybody else. Certainly my brothers.
Yeah, well, mine doesn't feel superior. It just feels old.
If you're just getting in your car this morning, welcome to the show. And Allison's feeling old because of her name.
Yeah, I saw this commercial for a medication, and it's like they don't use hip, young names for medication commercials. So it's like he meet Allison, she has this and she's taking this medication and it's like, why am I old? Why is my name old?
And I've never even considered that I have an old name. I've always thought I had an old name, but I also don't think it's ever going to go out of style. Thanks, Bible. Shout out.
Yeah, Old Testament.
Exactly. So it works out for me. Our guilt's pleasure, Adrian, said, I like both your names. Yeah, this isn't about not liking the names necessarily.
Wouldn't that be horrible, though? Somebody texted in, they're like, yeah, Allison, you should really change your name. That is a sucky name.
But Adrian's another one. Like I've gone to school with Adrians, so there's been Adrians that are my age and older than me.
Yeah.
But also I think there are still baby Adrians being
I think
born.
you're right. Yeah, I think that's a name that's been cool for a long time. Hopefully it continues being cool.
I was going to say maybe it's because it has 3 syllables, but so does Allison.
Yeah,
and
get
Allison,
out of here.
Yeah, I don't know. 601-995-1017 got a text from somebody that said their name is Arthur. They always think of themselves as a king, but they've never met anybody younger than them named Arthur. And I had to think back to my childhood. There was a kid that grew up on my street who was like 5 years younger than me named Arthur. And I was like, well, he was named Arthur. He's named after his dad. So I wonder if King Arthur is onto something there. Know what I'm saying? Chris, you don't think your name is old, do you? Chris? Hey, Chris, you don't think your first name is old, do you? Because I think there are baby Chris's being born still.
Yeah, I mean, I go by Chris, but my real name is Hans Christian Oldag.
That
So I literally have the word old in my last name to give you a little twist.
That's all. Do you like having old in your last name, or was that a tough middle school type thing?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, you know, I've gone by Chris forever. I go by Hans at work because there's so many Chris's around. But the word Oldag, my given last name, means to live a lively and prosperous life, and it's over 400 years old.
Wow.
That is really beautiful and like a positive spin, because I could imagine if I was a kid, I never liked any piece of my name whenever I was little, but I could see if I had the last name Old-Eyed, I would be like, oh my gosh, I don't want this last name. But then hearing that meaning, it is so nice.
Absolutely. It's a glorious name, and I enjoy it.
I also, I got to say, I enjoy your first name of Hans.
Hans, yeah.
I think that'd be cool to call you Hans from now on.
Yeah, everybody at work and all the customers and everybody, they think it's pretty cool as well.
All right, Chris/Hans, whatever you would prefer me to call you. Have a great day.
And I'll let you know I'm 65, by the way.
Oh, no kidding.
Ooh.
I would have never guessed you were 65.
Love listening to you guys every morning.
You're the man, Chris. Thank you.
All right. Have a great day.
Same to you. Bye-bye.
I think Beverly's got me beat. She was born in 96 and her name is Beverly. She says her mom got it from a Christmas movie, but I grew up thinking Beverly was kind of an older name, an outdated name, so I feel a little bad.
Yeah, I wonder if she goes by Beverly. Does she have a nickname or anything? Because Bev, I think, sounds older than Beverly.
Yeah, you're right. That's somebody said that they call me Allie and they don't think that sounds young. And I was like, but my they don't think that sounds old. But my nickname in high school was Al, which sounds like an old man's name. Like even the guys who were named Alan that I went to high school with, they weren't going by Al.
Yeah, I feel like I would meet an Al at a cigar lounge, drinking a bourbon or something like that. Y101, Adam and Allison, two old people names. We're both millennials. We're not as old as our names sound.